I always knew that I was born to do great things, but because my entire life I was told that I was a fuck up, that I wasn't going anywhere, that I was never going to amount to anything, those thoughts plagued me and held me back from really being able to reach my full potential. For years now, I have been studying what it really takes to become successful. Growing up, I was in a very abusive household. I was surrounded by drugs, and I was supposed to be just another statistic of somebody that just does not go anywhere. The cards were stacked against me throughout my entire childhood. And it wasn't until I read the book Mindset by Carol Dweck that everything really started to change. You see, back when I was 16, I got into a fight at school, which landed me on 90-day probation, which ended up lasting 2 years. Because every 90 days, they would just continue to extend it and extend it and extend it until finally I turned 18 and they couldn't keep me on juvenile probation anymore. After that, I dropped out of high school at the age of 18 because I still had 2 years left because I was going from school to school. I went to 11 different high schools growing up. I've done school inside of juvie. I've done school and treatments. I went to sober schools. And because of all of these switches, I fell behind and I just wasn't able to catch up. So at the age of 18, I dropped out. I got deeper and deeper into my addiction, at one point spending $100 a day on cocaine and ecstasy. And I always tell people I was going to be three places. I was either going to be 6 feet under, in prison, or homeless, living under a bridge or in one of those tent cities that you see. And all of this just kept going and going and going. I was just spiraling out of control until one day I was sitting there at home and I got hit with this ad on YouTube from this guy named Ty Lopez. He was talking about knowledge. He was talking about mindset, success, and what it really takes to be successful. I don't know what it was about that video, but just a few hours later, I found myself in Barnes & Noble looking through the self-help and business section. You see, I always knew that I was born to do great things, but because my entire life I was told that I was a fuck up, that I wasn't going anywhere, that I was never going to amount to anything, those thoughts plagued me and held me back from really being able to reach my full potential. But then that day in Barnes & Noble, there was this book that was in multiple different sections that kept sticking out to me. That book was Mindset by Carol Dweck. And that book completely changed the trajectory of my life. Because I'm dyslexic and it's hard for me to read, it did take me a little bit to get through that book. However, when I was about 30% of the way through, I did something that I never thought I would do. I enrolled back into high school and I started from the very beginning. 2 years later, I graduated from high school. I made this plan on how I could stop selling cannabis, actually step into what it really takes to be an entrepreneur and start my first business. Throughout that time, I enrolled into college. I was going to college for financial planning. I was really interested in money and how to just create wealth. And I soon realized that you don't need to go to college to be successful. If you look at some of the richest people on the planet, they've either dropped out of high school, they've dropped out of college, and they don't have any formal education. So anybody that tells you that you need a formal education to become successful is absolutely full of shit. All you need is a drive, a passion, and a relentless pursuit towards success. And I'm a prime example of that. My first few businesses absolutely failed. And although I could have let that hold me back and stop me from continuing to pursue my dreams of not just getting rich, but starting and just creating this epic company. All of those are extremely important. However, there's one piece of advice that I've gotten over the years that really changed everything for me. You see, if you want to become successful, It all starts with that word right there, becoming. You need to become a new version of yourself. You need to live by new principles. You need to create new beliefs. You need to create this new identity of who you are, so that way you can start attracting everything that you need in order to become successful. So I want you to take a second and ask yourself, who do I need to become? What habits do I need to learn? What principles do I need to embody? How do I need to show up with my family? How do I need to show up in my business? How do I need to show up in my life? And once you are so dialed in on who you need to become, the next step is to start living out and being that person. It's going to feel a little weird at first because it's not who you've been. However, once you do it long enough, everything in your life will start to change. You'll surround yourself with more and more successful people. You'll be able to attract better clients in your business. You'll be able to really understand how this game of entrepreneurship actually works. And every area of your life will level up. Your finances, your health, your wealth, all of these, your spirituality, all of these are extremely important to focus on, because if one area of your life is out of balance, then the other areas aren't going to be able to thrive the way that you need them to thrive to reach whatever your big goal and mission is. But it all starts with becoming who you need to become, becoming that best version of you. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not. However, if you get 1% better every day, that's 360% better every single year. And if you compound that year over year over year, there is no way that you will fail. I really believe there's only two ways to fail. Way number one is giving up before you even get started. It's not taking action. It's not pursuing your dreams, your mission, your vision. You see, we all have this voice in our head as we grow up that tells us that we're going to be something. Maybe for you, it was to be an astronaut. Maybe it was to be a lawyer. Maybe it was to be a doctor. All of these visions that we've had for our future end up getting destroyed because of the people in our lives, because of what they tell us we can and can't become, which is why it's extremely important to continue to do the work, to continue to build your mindset, to continue to just keep pushing forward and just become 1% better every single day. So now, before you go do anything, I want you to write down on a piece of paper, who do you need to become in order to reach your biggest goals, in order to fulfill your purpose, in order to fulfill the mission that you were born to achieve? Because the truth is, the chances of you being on this earth today are 1 in 400 trillion. 1 in 400 trillion with a T, which means you are not here by accident. You are here because you have a purpose. And once you figure out what that purpose is, and you have this relentless drive to make it a reality, you will become unstoppable. So as always, stay hungry, stay humble, and hustle hard. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you on the next video.